Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Illumination. Renee here with Luminous Cosmetics, walking you through everything airbrush. I just realized that my computer was a little wonky. Okay. Thank you so much for joining us. We are going to walk through everything airbrush, and we are here Monday through Friday from starting at 8 a.m. Central all the way through 4 p.m. Central, walking you through everything airbrush. So let's get started because we want to make sure that you're feeling super comfortable with your brand new kit. I'm going to grab this really quick. Like you're feeling super comfortable with your kit, which includes our amazing airbrush system. We have a blush, 2 foundations, and a love. And we'll talk about exactly what the heck love is. What is love? We'll talk about it together today, and we're going to walk you through all the steps that you need to know to get started airbrushing. Good morning, Candy. Good morning, Michelle. Good morning, Amber. Hello. So excited that you're here. All right, let's talk about this thing. Let's get your airbrush out, and we're going to go through the anatomy of your stylus. And this is your system. So it's a very, very simple system. All of the air comes through the hose. So when you turn it on, you can feel air coming. And then in here, you have all of your, this is where you put your foundation. This is where you hold it. This is what we call our trigger. So this is going to be what releases your product. And that's it. You also receive, which I love, is our spill-proof. I got my words twisted today. Spill-proof cap for you. Amazing. If you are just especially new at airbrushing and it's something that you're just getting used to holding onto your stylus, I'm going to use our Legend system. I just showed you our Icon system. Absolutely love. So we're going to get going with all of that in just a second. I'm going to double check my YouTube over here because I'm hearing comment that we can't see me. So let me just check. Oh, I'm there. Okay. All right. Good morning, Tamberly. Hi, everybody. All right. So we're going to get started because airbrushing is super easy and super fun. The hardest thing that you will do, and I promise, is making the commitment to opening up your box and getting started. And you're like, that's not hard. And yeah, that's the hardest part. Because once you get started, you'll realize how fun it is. You'll realize how easy it is. And you are going to have a great time getting to learn a little bit more about airbrush every single time you use it. You're going to start to feel more comfortable with it. You're going to feel like a makeup pro in no time. Okay, so let's talk it through. Okay, first and foremost, I love doing this demo. I'm going to go through a demo that's just going to walk you through what is happening with your airbrush system and what you have to do to get the best results. So I'm just going to put some foundation in here. This one is shade 110, which is not my shade. And I'm okay with that. It's not my shade. But it's for demonstration. So what we do is recommend that you follow these few steps, and this is going to help you have the most success with your airbrush system. So you can just get used to feeling it. You turn it on, the air comes out. So let's get scientific. So inside here, when you pull back your trigger, product is trickled down and released. Oh, I'm a little fuzzy. We are having some serious difficulties this morning. Okay. When that product comes down through here, it gets released out and mixes in with the air. So that's giving us that soft coverage, right? So as I continue to go over the same spot, very lightly, I'm staying at least four fingers widths from my face, in this case, my hand. I'm gently pulling back on the trigger and I'm releasing the product. So do you see we have a nice even finish here? Now when we're on this side, I'm going to not move it as much, but I'm going to do the same things. I'm going to say at least 4. I'm gently pulling back on the trigger, but I'm not going to move it. Look what happens. So we get a pool or a puddle of product, or maybe I'm going to do all of it. I'm going to move it, but I'm just going to release my trigger all the way. So as you can see, this side is not wet looking, whereas this side is wet looking. So when you put your foundation on, it should not feel wet. So this is why we recommend these few steps that we have right here, these steps right here, these steps, because this will help you get that nice even look that you're going for. And if you get too close or you don't move or you open up that trigger too much, you see you have so much more product. So that's why we recommend doing it this way. And we're just going to take that off. All right. Okay, let's get started on the fun stuff and put this stuff on our face because we love it. Okay. Just going to empty the rest of that out. Now I do keep, and this is not a requirement, this is just something I do personally. I do have a makeup towel. See, it says makeup. I have a makeup towel right here in front of me, and that's what I kind of empty out my foundation or whatever product I have. I don't have to clean it out. I just make sure that it's empty because then I move on to the next product and that will work that way. So how we all doing out there? Hi, Nancy. Good morning. Okay, we're going to get into what we said that comes in the kit, and that is a blush, 2 foundations. We'll talk about that. 2 foundations and a product called Love. Now, if you have not yet purchased your system, we've got some really great specials going on for next week with our Memorial Day sales. So stay tuned for a lot of fun for that. All right, here we go. All right, we're going to use shade 3 and shade 4. We're doing a combo here. And we want to shake up our product because it's a water-based formula. If you're using a water-based formula, that means there's none of that icky stuff in there that holds it together. So we need to shake it up so that when we put the product into the airbrush system, it distributes it very evenly. And we shake it up because all of those beautiful pigments are in there. Now, I have learned, because this is the time of year where I am 50% 030 and 50% 040. So that's how you can absolutely and super easily make your own custom foundation. So I do put my little cap on, little wiggle and a little shake, and we're going to get started. All right. So if you remember what we said, about 4 fingers width from the face, we're going to gently pull back on the trigger, and we are going to keep it moving. Now we're going to give us 1 pass around the whole face for just a soft, even color everywhere. Thank you, Amber. I think it's very helpful to show the difference because it's a very easy, it's a very easy mistake not to keep everything moving or opening it up too much and pulling back too much on the trigger when you first get it. And that's okay. Hi, June. Oh, that's so great to hear that these videos help. And the beauty of makeup, it's just makeup. it washes off. It's so fantastic. Like if you don't get it right, no big deal. It's just makeup. And it should be fun and you can play with it and try it. But we hope that these demonstrations and these videos are very helpful for you because we know that once you get it and you put it on, then you love it. So it just takes a little practice with just a tiny bit of practice. That's it. And we do recommend doing it at least, I feel like I'm fuzzy, guys. Am I fuzzy? Okay, there we go. We do recommend doing it at least 7 times before you get overwhelmed, because by the 7th time, you're going to be like, I can do this in my sleep. Better than a bad haircut, as you can fix the makeup. Exactly. If you get a bad haircut, girlfriends, you're stuck with it till it grows out. Yeah. All right. Okay. So Michelle, you're too funny. That's so true. Okay. So we have on 3 and 4. Good morning, Gabby. So we have 3 and 4 mixed together. And that is our foundation. Then I'm going to use our blush. Now, what if you're like, I've never used blush before? No worries. Not a single worry in the world, because we choose a blush for you that we feel fits best with your skin tone. So let's grab one of those. I feel like I've been neglecting my soft rose for a little bit. And I think I'm going to pull that out. Yep, soft rose. All right. So soft rose we're going to do. And you also get a product called Love. Love is an amazing luminizing highlighter. It is glowy, it's hydrating, but it is not like glittery. It's not like shimmery, or it just has this glow to it. So what I'm going to do is, if I'm new to blush, a great way to get started with blush is doing half Love. Let me turn this guy. Half Love and half blush. The reason why I want to do that is because if I'm new to blush, I don't have to worry about putting too much on. I'm going to do 1, 2 drops of soft rose, 1, 2 drops of Love. Now, Love does say use as desired. So if you feel like you're like, oh my goodness, I'm still not ready for blush, maybe you do 3 drops of Love and 1 drop of blush. Whatever makes you feel comfortable, because you can try it. You can always add more. And if you do too much, you can always put a little foundation over top of that to soften it out. How cool. You know what? I'll demo that for you too. Well, this side we'll do soft rose mixed with Love. So this kind of makes your blush sheerer. It makes it barely there. So you can see it's just a soft wash of color. The combination of shades that I used, Amber, for my foundation are 030 and 040. All right. Let me just show you on the other side what we're going to do if I do too much blush. And this is soft rose without, and you can see the difference. It's much stronger without the Love. But maybe I feel like I did too much because this is my first time. Or it's wet. See, I made it a little wet. I did that on purpose. So, whoa, big difference on how much blush we have on one side, right? So I'm gonna not panic, because see, there's a very big difference on how much blush, much less. And this has love in it, so it has a really pretty glowy finish. But we can see that's way too much, right? But I'm not gonna panic. I'm just gonna take my stylus, and I don't have any product in there. I'm not touching the trigger. I'm just gonna dry it down just a little bit, because I'm not panicking. It's just makeup. Oh, Michelle, Miss Innovation. I love it. All right. So I'm dried down pretty significantly. Let me get that air flowing. Okay. So I'm just going to take a few drops of foundation. See, very different in the intensity. Amber, I used half and half, 2 and 2. So I'm going to take just 2 drops of the Silk 3030. I sprayed a little bit out onto my little towel here. Whoop. Oh, wrong side. And then I'm just going to take a little bit of that just 030. There we go. Now we're much more even, and we took that intensity down. So don't panic. It's just makeup. If you put a little too much on, no problem. Literally, no problem. Now, if it is still feeling a little wet, let it dry down, or you can take a brush, like this fluffy, fluffy brush. This is our 100 brush. And you can actually just what I call, I don't know why I call this, but I always have, I call it dry setting. So I'm just pushing that extra product in with a brush that has nothing on it. There's no product on here. So what the brush is going to do, instead of distributing product, it's just going to absorb anything that's sitting on the surface. So if you go a little crazy, you can just pop a little bit of, just use your brush, and it helps to soften that out. So don't panic. We can always do a little more. I mean, we can always tweak and fix the little mistakes. It's just makeup. Nothing to worry about. So if you do open up your trigger too much, if you do let some of that air come out, pulling too much product, and it looks and feels wet on the skin, you don't have to panic. It's fine. You can dry it a little bit with the air, or you can take a brush that doesn't have anything on it, and you can just pop that around the face, and that will help to absorb the extra product. So those are the few things that you can do to get started with your airbrush system. Very, very easy to troubleshoot. And if you look to the beginning of this video, we did talk about we showed the differences on the hand of what makes it very different about pulling back on the trigger and not pulling back on the trigger. So we often want to demonstrate that, because we know that opening up that trigger too much will let too much out, and it's a really great way to see the finish of what happens. How often should you clean your brushes? Now, for me, once a week is great, because I don't use any wet products with my foundation. I don't use, because I don't use a foundation brush. So because I use airbrush. So that's always super clean. But I would say once a week for your other brushes. Yeah. That's what I would do. Candy, I use soft rose blush today. All right. Amber, you are so the sweetest. I love it. Yeah, Candy, I use soft rose, and clean your brushes, honestly, once a week is great, if you can. And it just depends when they have more wet product in them. So like eyeliner brushes or things, or concealer brushes, if you tend to use like our traditional concealer and you might use a concealer brush, you definitely want to clean those a little bit more frequently. Best way to clean. So there's a few options. You can use baby shampoo and water if you want to do into your hand like so. Will help to, and then you squeeze them out like this, and then you lay them flat. And then I usually lay them flat over the edge of like a counter or your sink or something like that, so that that water will drip down and it's not sitting in them. So, and then you just make sure you squeeze it out really well, because otherwise it's going to be way too much moisture in there. Secondly, you can get a spray brush cleaner. You can just pop it into Amazon and say spray brush cleaner, and that will you can also use that, spray that on a towel and rinse that out. So that's usually more of like your quick change, is what we call it as artists. Like I can use that in between clients and not do a deep scrub because I don't have time to wash and let all of my brushes dry. But you can definitely do that if you just like the idea of not really soaking them. Let's talk about the anatomy of a brush really quick. This is the handle, this is the ferrule, and these are the bristles. So when you are washing your brush, try not to soak your brush. These are glued in here. Every single brush, no matter what brand, the bristles are glued in, the handle is glued into the ferrule. And if you soak that, that is going to eventually break down that glue that's holding it together. So that's why we definitely want to avoid soaking all of that. Yes, Michelle, you can get a makeup brush shampoo. Absolutely. There are tons out there. Some of them are expensive. Some of them are super affordable. You want to just make sure that you aren't using an abrasive soap like Dawn or something along those lines, because those products will be very aggressive on your brushes, especially if you have what am I saying? If you have natural bristle brushes. So with natural bristle brushes, it's just like washing your hair with Dawn. So it's going to strip it. It's going to take all of that moisture out of it. So imagine if you washed your own hair with Dawn dish soap, brush cleaners, and brush cleaners, baby shampoo, or shampoo for color treated hair. Really okay for using those on your brushes, because they are designed to be gentle on your hair. Like a sulfate-free shampoo is also okay too. So the reason why we do that is because if you're using natural bristle brushes, that hair will dry out eventually, just like your own hair. So if you're using something too aggressive, it will definitely be damaging and break those bristles for you. So I hope that explains the process and the reasoning behind washing your brushes. All right, guys. My last live of the day is our next live at 10 a.m. I will see you back there. We're going to do some color. We're going to have some fun. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate all of you. And if you have any questions or want to talk about anything specific, send me an email and we'll try to get to it. I promise. We will definitely respond to your email, as well as we will try to address any requests that you have on there. So please, please, please just send us and just send me an email and let me know. I can't wait to see you guys back here very shortly. We'll see you soon. Bye, guys.